It's time for Fat Dude Digs Flicks with your host, Andy the Fat Dude.
Hello everyone and welcome to another Taco Tuesday movie review from Fat Dude Digs Flicks. I am the resident Fat Dude, Andy, coming to you recorded from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. This week's movie is the live-action adaptation of Ghost in the Shell, one of the world's most famous Japanese animation of all time. And I watched it, and I have some thoughts. Spoiler alert, I am gonna spoil the fuck out of this movie. Before I get started in my review, it's important to note that Ghost in the Shell is directed by Rupert something. Rupert something directed The Huntsman, which was an adaptation of the Snow White story. And it was terrible. Maybe, just maybe, he would be able to take a super world famous property and make it good. People wanted to see this movie in live action form. Here's hoping Rupert did a good job. Spoiler alert, he didn't. So, it's the future. People are learning how to incorporate human DNA with cybernetics. That way, if you die or get injured, you don't have to die. You can just be a robot-ish. What they do is they take your brain and they put it in a robotic body. And then they hope for the best. Good things don't always happen when we meddle with science. There's an accident, someone has this happen to them. A year later, this woman is like the top cop in some police force, and there's a terrorist that's hacking into all of these cybernetic creatures, cybernetic beings. So this top cop is on the mission to try and find this hacker, and all kinds of secrets are revealed. Yeah, so I'll talk real quickly about what this movie does well. It does something okay. It is a very stylish movie. It looks really cool. Like, the colors are beautiful. The effects aren't that bad. I'm sure that feels like high praise. They're not that bad. And it's shot really well. Every scene looks great. One other thing that I do like about it is, though it's not the exact same plot from the original anime, it really explains this story pretty well, so it doesn't feel super confusing. It took me a few watches to really get the anime of Ghost in the Shell before I was like, oh, that's good. This one, it's like, oh, yeah, I get it. And I don't know if it's because I saw the anime, but it's not quite the same story as the anime. What this movie does not do well is its casting. I'll talk about that in a second. But if we were to separate the whole casting issue, which I'm going to take an entire second taco to discuss, we need to talk about the acting. I don't know what happened with Scarlett Johansson in this movie, but it's like she kind of took it as a paid holiday, because she didn't really do much. She was dead. Like, her voice was super flat. I know a bunch of nerds are going to be like, dude, she's part robot. She's not supposed to have emotions. But she does have emotions, and they're flat. So don't try and defend this, because this is not good. There's no one in this film who really does a good job with the task they have ahead of them. It is a poorly acted film from the jump. If you're taking a piece that is as highly respected as this is, you're casting a big name star, you're gonna want that big name star to deliver, and ScarJo doesn't. I got a hard shell taco for Taco 2, cause I'm gonna go hard on it. That crunch is good. Crunch is good. I would be remiss in my duties as an appreciator of film if I did not address the casting controversy of Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell is a classic Japanese anime film. Japanese anime deals with Japanese characters. Scarlett Johansson is a white woman. The other cop is a white dude. In fact, many of the central figures in this film are white. There's the defense that this is trying to show how multicultural Japan has become in the future. Okay, that's an argument that doesn't really add up. Just saying, like, okay, so you're multicultural, so why don't you focus on people of other cultures? I'm just saying, a pretty white woman taking the role that a pretty Asian woman could have just doesn't really seem right to me. There also be people who are arguing the fact that because this is a brain being transplanted into a robot body, the robots don't really have a race. Okay. Most insulting of all, and remember when I said I was going to put some spoilers in this review? Here they come. Most insulting of all is when we find out that this whole time, the brain that has been transplanted into Scarlett Johansson's shell was from a fucking Asian woman. I'm a white dude. Even I felt the slap of that. Now, I wonder if you want to cast a big name to try and get this movie to sell, but this is going to play to a niche market anyway, a market of people that already appreciate what this is. And first off, most of them probably weren't a big fan of your casting, but second of all, I don't know where I was going there. I get that. In casting this film, you're going to want a big star attached to it. That way you can try and put butts in seats. But this is a genre film, and it's a bizarre genre film at that. Probably the audience that you're playing to are ones that are already familiar with it. And because they're already familiar with it, a lot of them might have had a little bit of a problem with putting Scarlett Johansson in that main role. It's also extremely offensive. You are taking a property that is completely Asian produced across the board, and you are whitewashing the fuck out of it. I don't know, man. That doesn't really work for me. So not only do you have a bad movie, but you have a bad movie that has completely changed the races of the characters for what? What's the point? I don't want to go too far in detail on this movie. It's not very good. The effects are okay. It's just kind of middle of the road. And then you add the whole aspect of race flipping, and it just becomes a complete disaster. So, because of that, I'm giving it 2 tacos. That may seem like a lot, considering how much shit I talked about this movie, but it really is stylish and very pretty to look at, but it's bad, and I kind of wanted to eat another taco, so 2 tacos. So that's going to do it for this week's episode of You Hold On Just a Second There, Baby. This here is the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Hi, Dusty Rhodes. And I'm here to tell you that next week, we're going to do something a little bit different. That's right, baby. It's time to kick off Foreign Film Friday, featuring the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. I know you're ready, baby. I'm ready, baby. So let's get this down and shaking. Okay. That's going to do it for this week's episode of Fat Dude Digs Flicks Taco Tuesday Movie Reviews. For Ghost in the Shell, I give it 2 tacos. Don't watch it. Don't see it. You don't need to. And that's all for this week. If you want to follow me on social media, you can do so by searching for Fat Dude Digs Flicks across the board. I am everywhere. Please subscribe to the podcast at Apple Podcasts or Stitcher Radio. Like it, leave a review. With this video, like it, comment, subscribe. I want to increase my exposure, and I want to talk about more movies with you. Hopefully that's what Mr. Rhodes will help me with, but we'll see. We'll go from there. Thank you all so much, and have a wonderful rest of your week.